As you're all probably well aware, I haven't done anything on my model railway for quite a long time. So I've had this delivery from Scale Model Scenery, and we're going to see what's inside here now. Okay, let's take a look what we got inside here. Oh, look at that. Some ladders. That's a big packet for a small amount of little plastic ladders, isn't it? So I've got 2 packs of ladders here. There's 2 4-packs, and what I'm going to use them for are these lamps that I made, and this one is one that I had to take out when I put in the new old coal bunker. So I'm going to see now just how these little ladders will measure up actually. How do we undo them? Okay, I need some scissors. So I've got 2 packs of 4, that's 8 ladders altogether. I think I've got about 6 lamps altogether, so we're going to have to see how it all works out here. Okay, I'm just going to cut the top off here now, because it's very difficult to get in here. And let's see what we've got. Come on here. Right, are they long enough? That's the thing. Just about long enough, aren't they? Just about do it, I think, that. So what I need to do is also to put some kind of a metal retriever at the top there, so you can't fall off, and that'll bring the ladder out here a little bit. So I'll have the metal retainer, so where the people can stand to change bulbs and stuff like that. So it's just about long enough, I think, that. I may have to just cut it down a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. First of all, I'll need to get the height of a person as well in there. So this is going to be the next exciting installment of continuing the model railway. This is one option that I've found, and you'll notice there's strengthening wires or metal pieces going up the ladder as well, but there's also like a ring around the top. But with mine coming out the other way, I might have to put a platform on or something. But look how expensive these are. Wooden post yard lamps, 2, £19.95. So that's pretty expensive, I would think. This is another version, so it doesn't look very safe actually. It's just a platform that I guess you climb up the ladder, get onto the platform, and then just hang onto the main support there while you change the bulbs. Well, I've finally found what I'm looking for. This is the type I wanted, where it can be fixed to the post and it can have a safety ring for people to hang on to when they're changing the bulbs. And guess where I found it? Lee's engine shed. So it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. So that's what I'm going to be making. The decision is done. To make this construction easier, I've taken one of the lamps and I've drawn it on a piece of paper like so, and I've taken one of the ladders. These are full length. If I need to extend them, I'll have to make them bigger, and I've put that in at the right angle. See, that was lucky it stood up. And I've also got a little man which I would put in position there so that he can, let's just move that ladder out of the way so you can see. Get this little man so he's in a position so he can change a light bulb. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some wire supports that are going to keep this ladder in place. And what I'm using for it, I've got some 24 gauge here, and it's florist wire. It's for tying flowers up. You get it from craft shops. It's really useful, and that's the material I'm going to try anyway and see how it works out. So we'll see how it works out. I'm going to give it a try. I'll see if I can make something that's going to hold these ladders in position, and I'm putting struts across here as well to strengthen it. The top one will have a little ring on so that the man can get through safely. Okay, the first job then is to take a length of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off. It's really cheap, this stuff, so it doesn't matter if you take a long piece, you can always cut off the surplus afterwards. I'm going to cut off that. I don't need that for the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pliers and I'm going to just guess. I'll take a guess, I'll take a wild guess at that. Make that roundabout in the middle, and I'm going to wrap that around there, like so. Same with this one, wrap that around there. I wonder if I can take it right round. I'm going to take it right round, and let's take a look at that first of all. Take that out. Oh, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think that's quite acceptable. Now, does it fit the man through? Let's get the little man. Oh, perfect. See, the little man goes straight through there. So that's going to be okay for that. Now what I've got to do, that's going to be in this position here. So I've got to hold them in place. I'm going to get this and wrap it around the post, the lamp post itself. So what I will do, I'm just going to click that in place there. In fact, I'll put it back where I had it, and I'm just going to twist that. Just do a little twist on it once and then tighten it up. That's good now. Right, now what I can do is take this distance from here, because that's going to be supporting the top of the ladder. It will be this way. It's difficult to see, but it will be that way, and it will be supporting the top of the ladder. So as long as I get that distance there, what I need is this. I need this wrapping around here. So it's going to be very close to it actually. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap that around there now. Like I say, if I make a mess of it, it doesn't matter, because I can always do another one after. So that's one wrapped around. This is the second one now that I'm wrapping around it. So those two wires are coming out at the back now, and if you take a look at that now, that's in place now. See that? That's in place. So what I'm going to do is just twist that around there and then lay that onto my template. Yes, I think that'll do nicely actually. That's about the right thing. So what I've got to do is make enough of those. I think I've got 4 or 5 of the lamps, so I'm going to make those top sections first, and then when I've done that, I'm going to do these supports in the middle, these struts here. So what will happen is that this will actually stick on at the top of this ladder, right? So the man can climb up, and then he will be able to get through the hole and then do whatever repairs he's got to do to the lamp. So I'm going to make those, and then I'll come back. I'll show you when I've made all, however many I've got, 4 or 5, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next with the struts. Now, I've given this project quite a lot of thinking about now, and originally this is the length of the ladder, and that is the full length of one of the ladders that I've got. Now, when this little man climbs up here, remember this is a hole. He's going to go through the hole, and he's got to change that bulb there, which is going to be very dangerous. So what I decided to do was to extend the ladder further up here, which would give him something to hold on to. So what I've actually done, this was the original length of the ladder, and what I've done, I've glued two of them together, so I can now extend that ladder way up there, so when he goes up through the hole, he's got the ladder he can hold on to with one hand, and then he can change the bulb with his underhand or do whatever maintenance he has to do. So that I've made a complete change with the ladders. Like I say, I've glued two sections together, and I'll be cutting it off, I imagine, round about this point here. So this will leave me enough. I've got 4 of those anyway. I had 8 altogether. I've got 4 lamps, so when I've got 4 cut off here, I've still got 4 offcuts that are long enough to use for something else, and I've already got a use for one of those. So that's that little section done. I've also done a fair amount of experimentation with these supports, and I've found that the best way to do it is to take this here, and I'm going to wrap it around this pair of pliers once, and I'm going to wrap this one around this pair of pliers twice, and then when I take it out of there, I've got a lovely little shape there that is flat for the ladders. See this? That's the flat part for the ladders. It's a round part for him to get through, and it's also got a double thickness on it. See the double thickness there? So that's a huge boost. Now what I've got to do is to find the right position for this, which is going to be there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around here now. So I've got it set ready, so it's bent where I need to wrap it. So I'm going to wrap that all the way around there, like so. And I'm going to wrap the other one all the way around it, like so. And then I can slide that off and twist these little things inside here. So when those two, let's just make that straight, when those two go together like that, we're going to end up with a very nice looking, I'm making a little bit of a mess of that, a bit of a hash of that, but now it's okay. So we'll get that. Okay, I've made a mess of that. Here's one I prepared earlier. Right, so it is pretty easy to do really. It's just a little bit of experimentation. And then when that goes through there, that sits in the right position for the ladder to go up. See that? That sits in the right position for the ladder to go up. I'll put the ladder up just to show you. So the ladder's going to go up here, and it's going to be something like that when it's done. You get that? So the little man is going to be able to stick his body through this hole and get on with his repairs, and he's going to still be able to hold on to the ladder. So I found that's to be the best solution of it. I've also made some intermediate supports as well, which are done a very similar way. I've just made sure, I'll just move that out of the way. So I just made sure that those fit in to the right length. You'll see that one's for there, and I got another one for here. It's a little bit twisted up, that one, but you'll have to just trust me on that. I'll straighten it out again. There. So that's that one. So I've got all three in place now, see? That will be glued to the ladder, that'll be glued to the ladder, top one will be glued to the ladder, and Bob's your uncle. So I've got all those sorted out now, so I'm going to get on with those now. I'm going to start sticking them together, and then we'll come round to assembling them on the layout. You can see that I've got all of the metal pieces glued in place now. All the supports are there ready. So now it's just a case of getting this ladder and feeding it up through there. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put that up through there, I'm going to use both hands to show you this because it's very difficult. So that's going to go up through that hole there, up to about there, and let's get it right. There we go, perfect now. And then these are going to be glued onto here. As you can see, the surplus will just be cut off afterwards when I've got it in place. So that's the ladder more or less in place now. You can see what's going to happen to it. It's just a case of putting a little bit of glue on those now, and then we're in business. Just paint it and then it's ready for going on the model railway. So we'll return to this after I've got it glued together. Woohoo! It looks like we're in business now. So I've got the ladder all nicely into place, and I've got the little man I'm going to glue on there. I've got to cut his base off first and glue it on, and then it's just a case of trimming off all these little surplus bits of wire at the back, and that's ready for fitting. So that worked out pretty good. I'm going to have more difficulty with the others because I've looked at them and they're well impregnated. They're deeply sunk into the board. I remember drilling holes, so I'm going to have to try to do those in situ. Okay, I've got that finished now. You can see I've got the ladder in situ. I've even got a little man at the top doing some work. So now what I've got to do is put it in place. And what I've done, I've selected a drill bit that I think is around about the right size. But just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to do a pilot hole first, a little trial. Okay, I've got myself a scrap piece of wood. I'm just going to drill a hole in there. Don't go too deep, we don't go through to the desk, do I? Right, clear that off. Let's try it now. Well, it's a little bit on the slack side. I'll see if I can try a little bit smaller diameter. Well, believe it or not, the next size is broken, the next size down, but I'm going to try it anyway, see if I can get it to work in the drill. Well, I think it's going to do it. I've managed to get it in. Like I say, it is broken, but it's a bit wobbly, but we'll see what happens. Right, let's try that now. See, that's a better fit. Perfect, that's the one I want. So I'm going to now drill that into the model railway layout. Okay, I got a nice aerial view of the shot now. I'm going to put the thing here. So again, I've got to be careful I don't go too deep. Am I boring you at all? Now it's just a case of applying a little bit of Yokum here. It does expand a lot, this stuff, so you only need a little bit. But even when it expands, I'm just going to put a little bit on the end as well. Sort of a double indemnity. When it does expand, all you need to do is just fill it in with a bit of vegetation around it. So that's going to go in that position there. And I don't need to chop off anything at the bottom of the ladder or anything, so I think that's going to work pretty good there. What do you think? Now I've got to do the others. Now there's the one I've just put in, see the little man doing his job there. Top of the ladder there. Whoops. So I've got this one here, and I've got another two, one over here under the tree and one over here which is lighting the main shed yard. So what I've got to do now is to do these manually. So I'm going to have to get the wire. I've got all the wires cut. I'm going to have to put them onto the post in the correct order. Smallest, medium, largest at the bottom, so the ladder is at a rake. And then I'm going to have to glue it in situ. So that's going to be a little bit more taxing than the other one that I did, because I could do it all on the bench. So we'll see how that goes, and then we're back in business. I've now got all the ladders in place. It's taken quite a while because I had to do them individually, but there's a second one. We've got one over here near the shed as well. Right, so the ladder's in place there, and this is the one that I first did. The one with the little man there, you can see, going about his duties, maintaining the lamps. I've also added one onto the old coal stage, and this is a period. This is like it was. I've just got to remove a couple of the rungs from the top of the ladder now, and to make that ladder I took two of the offcuts and I stuck them together, and I just held it over the electric ring on the cooker and heated it up and just bent it with a pair of pliers. It worked quite well. It broke first of all because it wasn't hot enough, but I carried on from there. So now my overall view is looking quite good, and I'm quite pleased with the way it's progressing. It's been quite a while since I've done anything on this layout, but now I'm pleased to say that we're getting back into the business, and it's coming on fine. I'm quite pleased with it really now. No complaints. So the next thing I've got to do now I've got back into it, the next thing will be to put some point rods in place on all the ground signals that haven't been put in yet. So I'm looking to add some point rods to this little signal box here, and I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm just going to make it look like it works. It doesn't have to work. I think the final thing then will be to get some more power onto different tracks. So there we go. We're back in the business now, and it's looking good as far as I'm concerned. Thanks for watching.